So good evening, everybody. Good afternoon for people from Pakistan, or good morning from US. Good evening, everybody, or good morning if you are joining from some other places, or good afternoon. So, today it's like a auspicious day for us because we are launching a new initiative called FABA Fridays. FABA Fridays, a lot of thought went through while creating FABA Fridays. But FABA Fridays is one of the initiative where we got irrespective of money, irrespective of the country, we want to mentor students because that's where life science sector is struggling. Many of the students when they take BSc Biotechnology, MSc Biotechnology, or BMTech, BTech, or any other life sciences, it's very difficult compared to information technology or MBA or anything. The jobs are limited, and moreover, the mentorship is very, very difficult to get. So that's where, with our expertise, with our network, we wanted to bring you the couple of mentors, and mainly we want to build a community. And this is where we have started 8 weeks back. FABA Fridays is basically a jumpstart your career in life science through a community. So it's a peer-to-peer community and event where anybody, whoever has a question, they should feel free to ask. So FABA Fridays concept basically is a get-together, weekly get-together on a particular topic. And so these are our FABA Fridays that we have done so far. So we have been doing it. So we started June 2nd, 2023 on CV writing. And fortunately, we have done 10 FABA Fridays so far, and 11th one now we are having with Dr. Aman Jain on personal branding for successful career. And so let's talk about FABA Fridays. So today is the 12th FABA Friday, and I'm really grateful that we are able to push this activity. But the main idea is how to help each other, like how to do a community building in life sciences, where people can come and exchange ideas, and then if they are looking for jobs, or if they're looking for mentoring, or if they're looking for applying abroad or anywhere, where we help each other. So every Friday we will be having this, like from 4 to 6. So as I said, we have various network ecosystem players, like industries are there, universities are there. But how can we help students whenever they need help? Let's really build a strong life sciences community. That such kind of communities doesn't exist anywhere as of now, as far as I know, but we can do our best. Bye everyone. Thanks for joining, sir. Raghu sir, big kudos to you. Thanks for joining. You made up this. Great guys. Then thanks for joining. See you next week. Everybody, thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye. Participants for joining today. Big thanks to Vishwa and FABA team and everybody who have joined today. Thank you. Bye everybody. Bye for joining. Bye. See you next week. Hello, Dr. Igwe.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
from Nigeria.
Dr. Sir. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good evening from India.
Okay.
Finally,
nice
we can have Dr. Igwe.
Oh, fine. Thanks to God.
Hi, Sai. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, Sir Anthony Abraham.
Good evening. Good afternoon from Nigeria.
Good afternoon. How are you guys? Very good. Happy to see you all. Hello, Sudeshna Chunduru.
Hello, sir.
Hello, hello. Where are you joining from, Sudeshna?
Sir, I'm from CBIT.
Okay, okay. So did you also join for the CRISPR workshop?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, because the seats are filled out. Yesterday, I think, what's her name? Deepa or Pooja, somebody reached out and there was only one seat left. And then we gave it to your college. We were supposed to take only 15, but we extend seats to 20. And after that, there is no lab space.
Oh, I'll make sure to join in the next session, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Hello, Ria. Christina, Elsa Thomas, Gaurav Mondal. So Sai Prashant, you should ask so many questions today because what you told me yesterday or day before yesterday, it was ringing in my ears. Sir, I have a lot of questions, but I'm unable to ask. I'm scared.
Yes, sir.
But FABA Fridays is a community building thing. So where everybody should ask questions. And we have a great speaker today, Dr. Igwe, who also picked something that is useful for everybody, where to finish projects in time. Because especially in a PhD settings or project settings, it's too difficult to get things going. A couple of people will take 8 years, 9 years, 10 years to do PhD or even JRF positions. But Dr. Igwe has kindly agreed to give a presentation today, how to basically plan a project and how to get it done. Right. Hi, Varas.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Turn on your cameras, guys. It's a physical event, not a virtual event.
Sure. Just give me a few minutes. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Yes. Dr. Igwe, we'll wait for 3 more minutes. I guess
Okay.
a lot of Nigerian people will join today because I think what you are presenting is quite relevant. Maybe, Sir Anthony, do you want to put a message in the Nigeria WhatsApp group that we are starting now with the Zoom link?
Okay, let me do that right away.
Yeah. Because this kind of opportunities doesn't come that easily. Hello, Ria, how are you? Okay. So, Dr. Igwe, let's go ahead. I think so. Good evening and good afternoon, everybody. So I don't want to pitch about FABA because I think everybody here knows about FABA. At least looking at the people and the names here, you have been listening to FABA's presentation and you know in and out of FABA. I think next time you should be presenting FABA. So today we are on 17th FABA Friday. So 17th or 18th? Divya, 17th or 18th? 17th.
17.
Yes. 17th FABA Friday. This is I think one of the very unique activity that FABA is doing, but it's also very difficult to keep it up because we have so many pressing urgencies on other programs. So we'll try to do it next month, and then we want to close it. So because it's I mean, looking for speakers or identifying what student needs, because student feedback is very, very less. We never get any feedback what student needs. So it's always we are taking responsibility, which is not the right way to go. So we will do one more month because we have all the speakers lined up, and afterwards we will wind it up. So let's say 5 FABA Fridays are left, and we are lucky that our international chapters are participating today. Dr. Igwe from Nigerian team, very experienced. His project was on livestock, right, Dr. Igwe? So you did livestock and antimicrobial resistance, right? So,
Yes.
but today he's not sharing his science because we requested him, Dr. Igwe, this is not science topic, this is more a social skills, soft skills topic. So he changed his topic immediately when we asked him last night. So today he is going to talk something very, very relevant to anybody, whoever in what kind of project you do, something time management. So Dr. Igwe, please introduce yourself and take over the whole stage.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Gandia. It's a privilege to actually meet you and to meet the FABA family. This FABA forum is actually an opportunity for everyone to showcase their experience, wealth of experience, so that others can learn from it. We speak out of experience, not just on projects. Today's topic is very important because it's going to actually channel your thoughts towards achieving that which you think is very difficult. Post-graduation is actually a stage where people look at and felt maybe it's too difficult or they can't achieve it. I'm speaking as I was formerly a PG coordinator, postgraduate coordinator of my department. I'm talking from experience because I completed my master's within just 2 years, and I completed my PhD within 3 years. And working with time is very important. And as the head of Department of Pharmaceutical Microbiology and Biotechnology, Nigeria, under the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, I'll be sharing experience because I have a lot of PhD students and MSc students. And I'll try to share from practical experience and not just what you will think around the bus or what is being drafted somewhere that you will go and read. Because completing it on time is an added advantage for you and not for another person as we go into it. So I would like to share my slide.
Yes, Dr. Igwe, feel free to share.
Okay.
You can.
I'd like to share my slide so that we can just go around it one after the other. And can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, if you can see my slide, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. It's an opportunity I would like to share with you. FABA Friday is an open forum for you to ask questions that are difficult, that you've been seeing as being difficult. I was actually told I have a few minutes, so I will speak majorly on points that I felt are very vital for you to complete your program. Our topics today cuts across all human for those that are going into postgraduate, and the tips to make it on time on postgraduate programs is vital. So the focus of this presentation will actually be on one, we are going to establish basic purposes for postgraduate. Why do people do postgraduate studies? And also we are going to be redefining the concept SMART. And we also highlight factors that limit good performances in postgraduate program. And after that, we'll evaluate basic tips that we can use for success Then we can conclude and tell ourselves and pat ourselves at the back. Thank you very much. So if we talk about postgraduate studies, we said to ourselves that is a course undertaken after completion of first degree, which simply means you've been spoon-fed with milk, and it's now a time for you to take responsibility on your own and actually study hard. Postgraduate programs are not just what you just decide or wake up one day and choose to go inside. Postgraduate programs are what should be able to build you, lay foundations and connections and bridges for tomorrow's success. The truth lies that those that you are going to meet in the process, your classmates in postgraduate, will be more value-added mates, both in and outside the coursework, in the environment, in the social life, in politics, in teaching, in academics, in career. Most of the people that you are going to meet are there. Those are going to be those that you are going to meet. Postgraduate is more open and more serious-minded. Having built the foundation in first degree, the next degree that you are going to take should be able to give you more added value personally to your career, to your social life, and to whatever you ought to do. So we look at different classes of post-graduation programs, and it might be a diploma, postgraduate diploma programs. It might be a professional certification after you have completed your degree, like FABA, IBA, like ICANN, MBA for professionals. And also for pharmaceutical sciences, we have West African College of Pharmacy, and that of medicine also are there. So post-graduation also opens you to other various areas that you look into. We also have the master's, which is quite common. People want to have master's degree. Yes, now we need to talk about the difference between professional courses and master in your own field. The concept master simply means that you intend to master the subject matters which you have read in your BSc or your first degree. So master simply means you want to master in that field, while the PhD is you want to philosophize and contribute to knowledge. A master's degree, you are being trained to learn the basics and master all the steps that will make you a better person in that field. But for PhD, you can now contribute as an authority in that field. So when you have masters, you just master all the processes. But you are in PhD, you are channeled, you are tailored towards a particular place so that you can actually philosophize on that place. Then postdoctorate is another one which you carry out to actually specialize. That is why if they want to give you a professor, they will ask you, is where you specialize in, that is where they are going to make your professorship from. Like professor, like I am an associate professor of pharmaceutical microbiology and biotechnology, because I actually am focused only on pharmaceutical microbiology and biotechnology. Other areas are not of interest to me. So as a PhD, you'll be able to think around the box. So why do some people go for postgraduate studies? That is what we need to ask ourselves. Most people actually go into postgraduate studies, one, to improve their skills. Is it just only to improve your skills? Yes, because in that course, whatever you are going to do in your lab work, in your research work, are those things that will be taught in class. We have course aspects of the masters, the research, before the research. So we have masters with research or masters without research in some university. But in our university, we actually do both masters with research, which simply means the student will have to pass through the classes and be taught all the stages, and whatever he will be requiring to actually carry out is research work independently without any supervision or little supervision, if that is the case. Okay, some other people will also want to occupy themselves for those who are not working. Yes, because they felt, okay, let me get myself engaged. And with that, they may not be putting off all their interest in carrying out the program, especially the master's program. In Africa and in developing countries, 40% of those that go back for master's program are actually unemployed. And most of them go back because they felt they can easily get job when they have added certificates or added value to their skills. Some are having or lack of purpose and they find goal and just to associate themselves with the title. Some just want to get the certificate so that they will tell themselves, okay, yes, I've gotten the certificate, what next? And they don't actually know why they are actually there. Because the certificate you just get, if you don't know the value, you may not be able to appreciate it. And the world or your environment may not be able to take you being serious because your contribution will still be low. Another one, some people also go there for promotion. Yes, for promotion's sake, they want to have added certificates so that they could be promoted in their place of work. And if they are promoted in their place of work, then they can tell themselves, oh yes, we have certificates that are required. I believe you are getting me.
Yes.
Are we all here?
Yes.
Okay. Can you type yes on the message platform? Let me know a number of people that are actually following. Oh, okay. Ria, okay. Modan, thank you. Esa, thank you. Okay, Anthony, thank you. So that shows that we are just 21. Let me continue, okay, with my slide. Because I want all of us to be carried along so that we can actually ask our questions when we are asked to ask questions, and we'll be able to discuss this properly.
I want to understand the case.
In every research, most research in both postgraduates, in all the postgraduates must always follow the concept of SMART, which is specific. Your research must be specific. It must be measurable. It must be accurate. It must be reproducible. And it must be time bound. Simply means that for MSc here, for master's program, we normally give 18 months and 24 months, minimum of 18 and maximum of 24 months in our university. And for PhD, we have maximum of 36 months or 60 months maximum, 3 years, 6 years maximum, which at the end of the day, if you are not able to actually complete your program, you may be asked to go. But before doing that, you must show interest in the field. For you to actually ensure that you graduate on time, you must be committed. That's the truth. You must show evidence of commitment. You have clear vision of your purpose of going for that postgraduate program. Because if you don't have clear vision, it becomes difficult to actually tailor you to what you want. And some of us will be carrying out research for others and not carrying out research that are going to address our own environmental needs. That makes it very difficult. So after PhD, you are asking yourself, what have I done? I have the certificate, but it's not contributing to my life. That becomes a very difficult task to address. In any field that you are, you must search for a niche in your environment that you are willing to address. Also, you must be involved in activity during the program. Some people would like to be doing, okay, one day off, one day in, without putting their best in the program and ensuring that every activity that you actually carry, there is time for it. And that is why they ask you to either go for full-time or part-time. If you go for full-time, it will give you opportunity for actually to contribute your best in every activity that is being carried out. Also, just know it is for a while and will soon be over. Yes, because most people will always felt that, oh, I'm doing a postgraduate program, I can do it forever. No, we don't do postgraduate program forever. It's for a time. There is time limit for it. If you don't graduate, you may be asked to leave. And know that you are accountable to yourself and yourself alone, which simply means that the certificate is yours. If you choose not to graduate, the system will expunge you automatically. And that is what we do. If a student chooses not to graduate at when due, the committee of postgraduate school will decide if this student is not ready to graduate, we should let him go, because we need serious-minded people to actually carry out our research. And because the research is time-bound, we must also search for a way of solving our problem. Though we understand there are a lot of limitations that actually abound while carrying out research work or postgraduate programs, which might be psychological issue as a result of economy, family upbringing, social exposure, way of life. Those kind of things can actually be managed, because in our postgraduate program, we have counselors. Counselors, as soon as a student is appointed, a counselor is attached to him or her, so that they will actually know basic issues that the student have, and will now find a way of addressing it. Language-related challenges. For those who travel out of their comfort zone to other countries or environment, because when I was in India, I was actually asked to learn Hindi. So I have to learn basics of Hindi, and so that I can interact. I can also buy some basic things in the market. So that may be challenges to some people, but it is something that others have done and succeeded. Therefore, yours should not be a problem. You should be able to be willing to learn those rudimentaries. And lack of information about the work or place. You may not have any experience in the area. And that is why we are asking you, before you come for a program, read wide about it, so that you have tangible information about the program you intend to do. And so in the success tips, we are going to be highlighting how we can overcome all these challenges, and also sexual harassment, which might be there because we are all social beings, and there may be possibility of interaction. So in the process, there must be maturity in relating whatever you intend to do. And every student must understand that this is a mature class, and you are liable to take responsibility of every actions that you do. So why is it important you complete the program on time and successfully? That is very vital. I recall when I was actually appointed as the first head of department at Gombe State University, Department of Pharmaceutical Microbiology and Biotechnology, and I went for an interview. The interview was actually with the Vice Chancellor. And one thing he told me that I will never forget was that he looked at my credential and said, oh, you completed your primary education within the specified 6 years. You completed your BSc first degree within the specified 4 years. You completed your master's within the specified 2 years, and you completed your PhD program within the specified 3 years. That simply means academically you are sound. And that also calls to mind when I was appointed as a medical intelligence officer with the National Security Advisor to the President Office. The first thing, others were given questions, exam to write. But when I resumed office, I was just asked to go and take my office and start my work. That they have assessed me, and they've also done all the basic assessments. And they've also done all the basic assessments, and they observed that my academic certification is okay, and they can actually assign me responsibility, and I will deliver within the time. Also, some postdoctorate grant and scholarship house are actually looking forward to how did you complete the programs you have done. so that if we are going to give you grant, you can actually complete it within the specified time. And they also want to know how well you have handled all the grants that have been given to you. Because in the course of running a master program, a PhD program, some grants will be released to you. How well have you been able to manage it? If you manage it effectively, did you graduate on time? If in some universities there are delays as a result of strike, that might be overlooked. But in a situation where a student have spent extra 2, 3, 4 years above the expected years that is expected to graduate for a program, such grants might not be given to such students because they may be seeing the student as being wasteful or not able to manage his time or not adding to value or being a burden to the system. So what are the tips that are required for successful post-graduation programs? Number one is self-discipline. Yes, you must be able to discipline yourself and ensure that you do the right thing. Discipline, self-discipline cuts across every area. In your research work, in your attendance to class, because we normally have 75% attendance. If a student do not have 75% attendance, is not qualified to write exams. Secondly, we also in research, is it committed? Is a question when it's asked to come and submit is a proposal, because a supervisor is assigned to you. You are answerable to the supervisor, and the supervisor is answerable to the department, the head of department and the committee on postgraduate. You are supposed to make sure that whatever your output is seen on the table. And also time schedule for activity. Are you just the type that just sleep all the time and not thinking of graduating because you felt it's a postgraduate and you are accountable to yourself? Time schedule for activities must be very, very put as consideration. Development of public speaking. Yes, this is vital for every postgraduate program because you need to talk. You need to make public presentation. You need to interact with others. People assess you the way you present yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk in public, the way you interact, the way you also communicate. Not just only in writing. You might be good in writing, but in the school of postgraduate programs, you are being trained to actually be able to manage higher responsibilities. And with that, you should be able to address some of these things by conversing with others, interact with them, talk to them, because tomorrow you may be appointed to teach because of the experience that you've actually gathered. Also, we talk about boldness and self-confidence. Yes, you must be able to tell yourself that I can do this. Yes, you can do this because of the experience you've acquired over the years. And the boldness cuts across everything, because after you graduate, and if I'm possibly your colleague and I see you as someone who is timid while we were in class, I will still have that mindset of your personality. So if I'm asked to recommend of your class or your person for any job, I will be actually restrained. So the postgraduate program is a place where you are built for a better career. Don't just look at it as a place where everything belongs to you. You build your tomorrow from what you do today. Your first date or visit to your supervisor, go with your topic, which simply means you don't just appear to see your supervisor empty-handed. And sometimes I normally sit in my office and some students will just walk into my office and tell me, sir, you are my supervisor. And the next question I will ask you, and so, if I'm your supervisor, what next? I will tell you from my own experience. The first day I resumed, because I have never been to ABU Zaria before, I just got the admission and I went to school and I was told, this is my supervisor and this is his office. The first thing I did was to leave. When I saw his name, I left the board and went back home and Googled his name or his profile. I haven't Googled his name and his profile. I saw his area of research interest, and I saw his specialization. And the next thing I was asking myself, what are the basic topic of research I can actually carry out within the space of time using the profile of the supervisor, so that all of us can actually be at the same pace. So I developed 3 proposals, 3 topics. And I went to his office, haven't read about it, the topics. I went to his office and I told him, sir, Professor J. Onolapo, you are my supervisor, and I want to see you, sir. He said, what for? He said, I've just been told that you are my supervisor and I need to discuss my topic with you. From that day, the first impression matters because he sees me as someone who is prepared to do the research work, who is prepared to do the program. And then we start interacting on that basis. We interacted and started discussing each of the topics that were presented. And at the end of the day, we collapsed 2 topics to form one. And I was asked to go and come back after 1 week. I came back after 1 week, the topic was also remodified, just to suit the purpose. And when I started my research work, I was actually going to class and doing my research work. The program is 2 years program. And class work, lectures were designed to be for 1 year and then 1 year for lab work. Being a student that actually have or know what he wanted, I went with my topic and my supervisor approved. So I was the first in my class to meet the lab technologist and told him, my supervisor have approved this course, this topic for me. Please, I would like to start my research work. And I met the PG program, PG coordinator, who saw the topic and said, if your supervisor have already approved it, that is area of specialization, you can go ahead. And with that, I went to the lab. First of all, I was asked to do basics, introduction to lab. And I met other senior colleagues. Because other senior colleagues were in the lab working, I participated in their work. How to do isolation, characterization, development of questionnaire, interaction with students, epidemiological work, surveillance carrying out, were all the basics I learned from my senior colleagues who were in the lab. If I had not been in the lab as when I was supposed to be, most of them would have finished their research work and they'll be gone. So I will not have anybody in the lab to actually pull through my situations. So I discussed with the senior colleagues, I followed them to the field, administered my questionnaire, collected my sample because I collected samples from UTI patients, urine samples, and diarrhea patients in the hospital because I was working on E. coli, and it was molecular characterization of multi-drug resistant E. coli. So in Zaria, my locality, and when I collected the sample, I administered my questionnaire and brought it to the lab. With the assistance of the senior colleagues, I was also able to do isolation, basic isolation, which we have done already in the first degree. But the experience is not as that in postgraduate, because in this case, you are only left to do the job yourself. So what next? I have to do it myself with the guidance of the other colleagues and the lab technologists. We went through the lab rudimentaries. And every blessed research I have, I carry my supervisor along. That is why I tell you that your supervisor is 40% success. Understanding your supervisor and discussing with your supervisor gives you a leverage over others. So every stage of the research work I carried out, I submitted to my supervisor, who actually read through, correct. And if there is a need to go back to the lab, I'll go back to the lab while also taking the coursework. So while we were finishing our coursework, I was already 50% completing my research work. So while others were still preparing to go back to class, to the lab, my results were out and I was prepared for defense. So people were busy asking, how did you do it? Is ability to manage your time, ability to carry your supervisors along, ability to schedule yourself, ability to use your basic economy, your finance, immerse yourself in your subject area, which simply means in that subject area that you have decided, read wide about it, understand the basics about it, carry yourself along, and also build your CV. Your basic research works actually should be added as part of your CV. Before submitting your CV for employment or for job, you should be able to have practical work, experience, skilled work from the lab work. Yes, skilled experience from the lab work, which will enable you to get a better job because your employer is looking at what experience or research, hands-on training has this student actually been able to do. So you should be able to tell us what you've been able to do in the lab, which will be part of your research building. And also how you are able to design your questionnaire is part of the skills you learn, which will be added to your CV. Research about your university. For you to go into any university, make a good research about it. The location, the course, the research area of focus, the facility, the marketability and competence of the university, graduates and products. Yes, this is vital because if you go to any university that the products are not well known, it becomes difficult for you to actually sell yourself. That is the truth. One thing I learned, because actually my first degree was from third generation university as a classified universities in Nigeria, which are just universities that just were created within 10 years. But I'm doing my postgraduate in a university that have been in existence for over 50 or 60 years. So they are seeing the new universities as a third generation university, according to them. So if I do my postgraduate in a university that is well known within West Africa, I should be able to sell whatever I have, wherever they see my certificate, wherever they see what I have done, and the profile of my supervisor gives me a better job in the labor market. Because grant winning, networking is also very vital, because your supervisor is a stepping stone to your networking. My first intention to go to US was actually introduced by my supervisor. He just asked me, you have to go and present your research finding in a conference in Association of Microbiology, American Society for Microbiology conference in US. And I told myself, will I go? Should I not go? But this is one of the things I was being introduced to because it's very vital. With that, I had a lot of contacts. I had a lot of interaction. I got my CV developed. I got my connections. Then consider your reason for studying. Yes, this is very important to also encourage you. When there is no job, having better qualification, or after a few years, whatever qualification you have will be outdated. Yes, so you need a better recent certificate that is up to date and current to actually strive in the labor market. Practice your time management, which simply means while you are doing your research or postgraduate, you must also understand that you have a social life. You have friends, you have hobby, and you have personal interests, which you cannot overlook, because after the program, you still need others to forge ahead and to re-energize yourself. Involve yourself in one activity in the university campus if you're a full-time student, so that whenever you are around, you are able to interact with others. Try to balance your study life with your work life, which we have already discussed, because you have a lot of people that will come to you for need, for discussion, for counseling, for mentorship. And as you move to other classes, we will have every year there will be new students. So you will serve as mentors to others. Then you also have interact with your classmates. Yes, your classmate is bedrock to your growth today and tomorrow. That is very vital. Your classmate is your bedrock to growth today or tomorrow. In politics, in academia, in career, your classmate provide the information you need. And that is why it's allowed that you have tutorial. Before you have any exam, discuss with your classmates. Before you have anything to do, test, have a tutorial, have interactions with your classmates. Because any area that seems not clear to you, your classmates should be able to discuss it better with you. What we do while we're doing our masters, we are always four at the front seat, and we jot. At the end of the day, we compare our notes. Then we discuss our understanding of the subject matter and develop our social life and network and sort our finance. Yes, your finance is very vital. Your study, for those who are not employed, become very difficult if there is no finance or grant to actually carry it. But for those that are studying also, that are working, you can't spend all your finance on your academics. Your family life is there, your workplace, your children, and everything around you needs to be balanced. Practice self-control. Another point is practice self-control. For those of you that have self-management, hunger, reactions, interaction, mood swap, especially women, you must understand that where you are going to is a social community. A university is a social community of networking and interactions. Whatever you have in mind can be discussed, and a problem half discussed is half solved. So the more you discuss with people, the more they solve your problem directly or indirectly. And have a jotting notes and occasionally reorder your note. What do I mean by this? I could recall that the first time when I resumed as the National Security Advisor to the President's Office, I was asked, if you are going into the office of a senior officer, you don't go without a note. You must be ready to jot notes because you cannot cram everything. So while you go to your supervisor's office, go with notes. While you are discussing, jot some things. Your jottings will encourage the interaction. We expand the interaction because definitely there are things you will forget. Jot whatever discussion you have with your supervisor, and also prioritize whatever you are doing. The time to go and play, the time to socialize, the time to read your book, the time to work, the time to be in the lab, you must prioritize it. And as such, have scale of preference for whatever you are doing. And also carry your supervisor along. What do I mean by carry your supervisor along? Speak to your supervisor. Your supervisor is more experienced in any field that you are going into. Your supervisor knows what to do. Your supervisor can advise you. That is why it's called supervisor. And therefore, you interact because nobody is an island of knowledge. And when you want to carry out research, do not carry out WHO research. Search for research within your niche, a problem within your niche that you can address. As such, you will be addressing a lot of issues and solving problems that are peculiar to you and your entire community, because that is value-added research. But when you carry out a WHO research that is so vulgar, so big, quite expensive, and you are looking out to God to get money to finish the research, it becomes difficult to complete. We are talking about time. Time management is very important. You must understand that you need to leave these premises in the next 3 years. Also, set a date of graduation. Yes, you must set a date for your graduation. Whatever comes, you must graduate within this period. And in research, there is always plus or minus of 2. Plus or minus of 6 months is allowed for corrections for whatever input from within and external supervisors, whereby yourself to effect corrections. So you must set a time limit. I told myself that I want to graduate in 3 years. I finished all my research work and I finished all my class work within 2 years and 6 months. So I was asked to wait until the compulsory 3 years. 2 months before the time, I was scheduled for external defense because I had finished my research work. And when I finished my research work, Some people were saying, some supervisors, professors in the department were saying that how can a boy for the past 50 years of this faculty, nobody has graduated and completed PhD within the period of 2 years or 6 months? Is it true that what he has done is not justifiable? So I printed, when I heard it, while they were discussing, I printed my thesis, PhD thesis, binded it, and sent it to the supervisor, the lecturer. He's a professor. He was doing his sabbatical elsewhere. I sent a copy of my thesis, the one I'm about to defend, to him. And I called him on phone. Sir, I'm sending my thesis to you. Kindly read through and justify it. If it is not up to, or if there are places that I need to go back to the lab, I still have time. I can still do it. And when he finished reading, he called me on phone and said, Igwe, you have done more than PhD is supposed to do. Congratulations, and I'm proud of you. With that, I could actually beat my chest and tell myself, PhD is achievable within the time. And because I was committed to it, I told myself it is possible. So in conclusion, success is a choice, and the future you are praying for depends on what you do today. Take every opportunity that comes your way, serious, and smile to the future. Failure is success in progress. About Einstein quote. And why do I say this? I could recall that on a lot of research that we carried out, that I did not carry out properly in the lab, my supervisor asked me to repeat it. And I repeated it until I got the process and I was perfect in it. So see failures as part of success. Failure, a man who has never failed can never succeed, because failure are part of success. A failure is better than a man who has never tried. And as such, I want to tell you, success is a sum of small efforts. Repeated days in and day out, you will receive success. Train your mind to grow with what you have. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Dr. Igwe, that was fantastic. I wish somebody has told me, when I started my master's or PhD, these things what you taught us. I know, many of my friends during my PhD, when I used to ask them, why did you join PhD? Most of them used to say that, they want a title in front of their name, doctor title. Zero passion, zero subject knowledge, but they want that title. And they struggled. They struggled quite a lot. Excellent. Are there any questions, guys? Hello, Nurgaru. Hi. Good evening.
Are there questions, please? It's interactive class. We need to discuss and share ideas.
Yes, Varas, feel free.
Yeah, hi sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible, Varas.
Yeah. Sir, you were talking about like how being from a lesser known college, it is very difficult to sell yourself to gain a job. So it is something that I can absolutely relate with, because I'm from a humble government college that no one.
Varas, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, I could get him. He is saying that he's from a humble college background and he wants to get a job. Yes, the postgraduate program offers you more better opportunity. In postgraduate class, you meet people that are working and people that are not working. Your interaction with them will actually show you where to apply and when to apply. They have more information because some of them are not of your age. They just came for the program. So as they come for the program, you must be seen committed in the program. I got a lot of people who were actually employed while we were doing programming. My first appointment as the head of department of pharmaceutical microbiology and biotechnology in Global State University was actually introduced by a PhD, just MSc student, who told the vice chancellor that we have somebody that can do this, and he's very good. I was not just interviewed. I was expecting to see a panel of interviewers up to 10. But the vice chancellor said to me the day I met him, he said, we've already seen your profile. Are you willing to stay? That is the question I was asked. Your classmates had already told us how you are passionate about this program. Are you willing to take the job? So in the process, that simply means I've sold myself. I've been committed in the work. I have met a lot of people. I've interacted with them. I've assisted them. I've added value to whatever they are doing. And that is the place I'm talking about. When you get postgraduate program, be of added value. Let people see you committed. Be involved in everything they are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Lynn Maury.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. I want to first of all appreciate the speaker. Thank you for those words, man. They are insightful. I love them. I think this meeting is meant for me because I'm about to apply for my PhD, and I'm going to use the information that the speaker has just presented to us. Notwithstanding, I have this question. I was told that before I apply for any PhD, I should go with my topics, let's say 2 or 3 that I am interested in. But he made mention that once a supervisor is been attached to you, you go ahead and check his background and see the areas in which he has interest in the research work. So now the question is, if the topics that I have is not in line with my supervisor's interest of research, how will I go about it?
Thank you very much. This is very vital. You have opportunity of changing supervisor if what you have does not tally with his own. The next question you should ask yourself, are you the one financing your research, or there's a grant with the supervisor that he wants to finance? If there's a grant, you have to work with what he has. But you have the opportunity of changing a supervisor by just writing to the department that your supervisor does not have experience in your area of interest. As such, this topic or the supervisor can be changed. That's the truth. You have the right to change supervisor, and do not do WHO work or WHO research that is so broad and you don't have justifiable hypothesis that you'll be able to complete within the time span. Your program is 3 years, work within 3 years. In that department, there are people that are specialized in that area, which you have interest. And people, supervisor can be co-opted from other departments to ensure that your objectives are achieved. If you cannot change, they co-opt other supervisors from other disciplines. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, if it's not going to be a problem, I would like to use you as part of my network. I want to apply in Gombe State University, and I just heard that you were once the HOD there. So if it will not be a problem, I would like to use your connection, sir.
Okay, which department in Gombe State University?
Microbiology, sir.
I will give you supervisors and I'll tell the HOD I'll be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. God bless you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. I think very well answered, Dr. Igwe. I mean, one passion or money. Money is not there, passion goes in vain, right? Yeah. Who's going next? Who wants to ask a question? And Dr. Igwe, maybe you can also tell people what kind of research you are doing.
I think the poster has already told you of my profile. I'm in infectious disease, communicable diseases. I'm in surveillance epidemiology. I'm in antimicrobial resistance. I'm in biotechnology.
Because the work what you are doing is quite important and interesting.
Yes.
You wanted to present about your topic, right? When I list.
No, that was not my topic. It was actually a topic I just felt that will be of added value to antimicrobial resistance.
Yeah.
You know, as a medical intelligence officer, yes, it was not my project topic. It was just a topic I felt the issues are increasing and there is need for us to address it immediately. Because the same thing I saw when I was in India, I was in Bangalore, the same thing is also happening here in Nigeria about livestock. So I'm in livestock, I'm in infectious disease. I also do research for companies. I'm a consultant, research consultant, and our primary objective is to develop kits now.
Okay.
For rapid detection. Kits.
Okay.
For rapid detection.
Excellent. Any other questions, guys? I see from Dr. Can I have the contact number of the presenter? Lynn Maury, I think you can directly ask Dr. Igwe, right? He can. He's in the WhatsApp group, in the Nigeria WhatsApp group. So you should start interacting in the groups. Because everybody here are to help, and you should really be proactive. Yeah. Right.
Redana sir is here, right?
Yes.
Good morning.
Sir, good morning.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, good morning.
I just joined a few minutes back and I just following the conversation.
Yes, sir. Dr. Igwe has presented how to basically structure your project on time basis.
Yeah, that's very, very important.
Yes, sir.
You know, specifically for masters, if there is a dissertation that you need to submit, it has to be done within that 1 year period. And if possible, publish a paper. If you would like to do that after the completion of the master examinations, then it will delay everything. And you need to be ready for applying for PhD program or other programs elsewhere. So that means you need to complete within the time frame. And of course, masters is specific time. For PhD, there is no such kind of thing. Maybe it's 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. But the delay that happens will delay your later career development also. So it is always better that you complete within 3 years. Like in Europe, it is mostly 3 years. In US, it is 5 years, 6 years. We do not know. In India also, it goes to 5 years, 6 years, 7 years sometimes. So it is always better that you complete within 3 or 4 years maximum, so that no government fellowship also will be given if you extend your fellowship. If you PhD thesis beyond 4 years, I think. So you need to complete within that period. So time frame is very important for completion of any coursework that you are doing.
Yes, sir. And the unfortunately, nobody tells you about the time frame once you join. You will forget about the time, and we have seen many PhD students who are doing 8th year, 9th year. Their fellowship will run out after 5 years. So meticulously plan. Thank you, sir. So China Bello, you have asked, have you started a PhD program at university? I would like to run a program at KASU. Can you explain what you mean exactly? You can talk. You can unmute yourself and talk.
We must all understand that there is time specified for the program. Master's program, PhD program, they are time specific, and you must work to beat the time. Your employers are waiting for you to resume back at office if you are working. Those that want to employ you also want to assess if you can actually graduate within the time space given to you. So you must be willing and ready to actually graduate within the time.
I wanted to say something. Nice meeting you, Dr. Igwe. Good presentation. As a person who has taught and trained students, I also wanted to share. In our campuses in India, it's generally research campuses. They're happy-go-lucky kind of people. But generally, people who are very focused and have daily, weekly, monthly plans, they get things done well.
Yeah.
Daily, weekly, monthly plans. And I would suggest that people who are into research, please don't multitask ever. If you multitask, you are asking for trouble, because you want to be sure of your data. You want to ensure that it is reproducible. You don't want to do something and then, oh, did I do it? Did I do it right? That kind of a confusion should never be there. So avoid multitasking, prioritize, try to do those experiments which are important in the order of logic, in the sense that if this experiment fails, the other experiment makes sense, or like that. So you have to build your logic. So try to plan out your experiments so that they become, the large picture becomes smaller, and the logic dictates a particular order of experimentation. So these are some of the things that I try to tell my students when I was a professor. So yeah, it was nice to see some. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. Yeah, fine. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Great. I don't see any questions from people. Nurgaru, are you there? Well, anyway. If there are no questions, then let's thank Dr. Igwe for presenting today and sharing us very important insights. And then we'll soon meet again next week in the FABA Fridays. Okay. Okay, there is one question from Varas. Sir, job after master's or job after PhD?
Pardon?
Whether one has to get a job after a PhD or after masters.
No, you can get your job before masters. You can get your job while doing masters. You can get your job PhD. All you need to do is to manage your time. Your job is very important to finance your research in the lab. Also, the time management, so that you had, okay, let me just give you an example of a doctor in Nigeria who collapsed or died after 72-hour work. So you don't need to stress yourself so much. Time management is vital. Prioritize your need. Scale of preference is important. Ensure you achieve your set objective that will make you happy. Make you happy. The program is for you and not for the dead. So you need to do it for yourself to be alive. So you need the job. Before masters, after masters, before PhD, you need the job. But if you don't have a job before the masters, it gives you more better advantage over your colleagues. If you have PhD, it gives you more better advantage over your colleagues, because the job market is like a pyramid. There are many people that have BSc, fewer have MSc, and very little have a PhD. So you can actually compete favorably if you have PhD.
Yeah, well said. I think this, if Jaypal Reddy sir wanted to join, if he was there, maybe he might have answered it in a different way because he's from industry. But I don't see him. I don't see him here. Okay. I mean, this kind of question was there in all the FABA Fridays for us. So whether to go for job after MSc or after PhD. So we heard many experiences. It really depends on what kind of job you are going for. Like in the first FABA Fridays, there were people who joined after MSc in industries. But our Indian industry, I think I explained you last time also. Indian industry, are you going for proper R&D company or any CRO? I'm talking only about the pharma and biopharma industry. If you are going to the CRO, you cannot expect much growth when you go after masters because there is very, very, very less R&D. But if you are going for an original research company, there might be growth. I know one of my friends who got a very big package after doing MSc at one of the universities. Then he was in biosimilar field. He was purifying biosimilars and he was characterizing them. So because of his expertise, he was hired for a very big package in a startup company. So he was into that. But there are also many others who are just doing microbial cultures. For example, at the human error workshop, you have met a couple of industry people, right? So there was one of my senior who is there in that group. So I am 36. So he's 37, 38. And he is doing just microbial cultures from past 10 years. So he joined after masters. So, but because they are just a CRO helping other companies doing a couple of outsourcing work, let's say. So it really depends. So this question is kind of, very, very round question. It's not straightforward. It depends on what kind of work you are going for. And even after PhD, you can end up into same jobs. It really depends on what you want. So don't join anything vaguely. Understand what kind of job you are fitting in. It doesn't matter whether you are a master's or PhD. PhD will always have an edge, competitive edge. But the thing is, do you have the time and bandwidth that you have to choose? Talk to a lot of people, and then you are in touch with a lot of people anyway in that human error workshop, right? Talk to them and see like what kind of, you can ask in the group as well, what kind of reply that they will give. Okay. Anybody else, guys? Hi, Kasturi. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon, right?
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry, I just joined. I was late.
No problem. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Anything coming in your way, Kasturi?
No, sir. Until now, not yet. No luck yet.
Okay. Harder you work, luckier you become. So work hard.
Trying my best. Right now, I'm like getting myself engaged in German language classes. I'm trying to enroll and just focus on that because I'm really exhausted with this kind of applications wherein every day I get n number of rejection emails.
Congratulations. You're getting
Every day I'm like, I just open my email and somewhere at least one email will be there for second round, but no.
No, you have to wait for a time, so many will come in your way. The difficulty will be choosing the best one.
Hopefully that day comes, sir.
That time will be much more depressive than this. Trust me.
Let me advise.
Yes,
for those that are applying for grants and for scholarship, who are your referees? Your referee play a vital role in assessing you or responding to the company. Okay? Your CV also plays a vital role. You must learn the current way of designing CV, the current way of doing things. Failure is part of life. It's better you fail than not trying at all. If one who failed is better than somebody that never tried, that's the truth. And from the experience you gather from failing, you can build tomorrow. And you have experience to discuss or to tell people about what you passed through before getting it. So I tell you congratulations again. I'm telling you congratulations because it's part of it. Congratulations because when you fail, you learn a lesson. You build on it. You develop yourself and you become better. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your feedback. Definitely, I think that I am learning something, but at the same time, it's quite demotivating. So that's challenging.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I am learning something out of it. But I hope something comes up in my way soon.
It will.
Definitely, it will. It will. You will be the one saying, I don't want again. Because the more you submit, the more opportunities you have, the more information you have, the more your detail is in their archive. Don't worry, just time.
Yes, sir.
It's just time. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, there is a feedback link that Divya has given in the group. Please fill out your feedback for the FABA Fridays and also follow our social media channels. So Divya has given all the links in the chat. Thank you, sir. Even I face such situation. Varas, you want to explain what kind of situation you faced?
Hello, I hope this time I'm audible so that I can tell it in a quick, short way rather than typing it out. So I applied for an internship program at Bangalore. Every time I apply for an internship, they don't say that you have not met the criteria, or they don't exactly tell what I am lacking so that I can improve on. They just say we have found applicants who are better suited for the role. And I read through the criteria and I feel I check all the boxes, but they feel like there are other candidates who are like more suitable for the role. So for these companies, I just give that feedback, like saying that you have to mention what kind of criteria you're particularly looking at or the selected candidates are having, because the feedback form that they send, like the rejection form that they send, is usually very automatic in nature. So I cannot like contact them back or like I hope I'm understanding. It's a chat bot that they actually give out the feedback, like the rejection letter, and it's very vague. Like I don't even know where I'm lacking. So how can I improve in such cases? So it's the same situation like as Kasturi ji were saying. So I was also facing a similar dilemma. So hopefully staying positive and keep going at it might be one way. So thank you, Igwe sir. So that's my story for now. I hope it was audible. I'm sorry, I'm connected my phone and I'm sharing the internet, so it's gonna be terrible.
First of all, I said you need to change the pattern. Give your CV to another person to actually review for you. Yes. And when you write, your construction of English, give it to another person to read, to make input. And also, why applying? Apply when you are at your best mood. Don't be at rush to apply, because they might be looking at topographical errors. There were times we made a call for submission of intent, and what we saw, some people don't even know how to address it, their letters properly. The cover letter was bad. The use of English was bad. So sometimes give whatever you are submitting to the third party to review. I want to tell you from my own experience, at the time my supervisor would draft a letter and give to me, or yeah, read. Is it okay? Can we go ahead? Is it good? It's actually a way to motivate you. Nobody is an island of knowledge. And we want to be carried along. In as much as you want this, the employer want to also get the best, because your language construction, your commitment, your time, your response, your diligence, your coordination in submission is vital. So those are the things that are being checked. So when you, before you submit another one, give it to your colleagues to read. Thank you.
Thank you. I will sure to give that idea a try next time. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good.
Right. Okay, guys. So give your feedback, and let's take a break now. See you next week.
Thank you.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
That's it. Bye.